Alright guys, on today's video I'm going to take you through the process of changing out these upper control arms on my 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Got the back here on the top, pull up the wood off. Alright, this is the part we're after right here, the upper control arm. I've already changed the upper ball joints on this thing not too long ago because I thought they were bad, which I guess they was. They had a lot of play in them, but if I would have looked into it further, I would have went ahead and got the upper control arms back then, and that way it would have had new bushings in it back here. I've been chasing a clunking sound, and I thought it was the upper ball joints. They were loose. I changed them and it didn't go away, so I thought I had it chased down to this inner tie rod here, and I changed those out and it still didn't go away. So now I'm back to thinking it may be the upper control arms. I think the bushings are bad. So if you go to change your ball joints, just go ahead and buy the control arm. That way you get the bushings and the ball joint and change them all out at the same time. And it's just two bolts. You got a bolt on the left side and a bolt on the right side. You got to go in from the under the hood to get to them. That's what we're fixing to get into right now. Alright, to gain access to them bolts, we're going to need to remove our air filter housing here. And to do that, you need to undo your weather stripping right here, your weather seal. It's just got a little push pin right there. Just pull it up out of the way. Take a 5/16 socket, loosen up this hose clamp. Take your vent hose, pull it off. You got two little clips right here to hold your air filter housing, your lid on. Just pop those. They're just little metal tabs. You just hook your finger on there and pull them. You should be able to pull that right off there. Take your filter out. So you should be able to just pull this straight up. Straight up. Now they got two hands. Whole lot easier. Let's hold it. Oh. Alright, before you pick that up out of there, undo this clip right here for your wire. Alright, we're just going to take a screwdriver here since I don't know where my pry tool is, but we're just going to pry that clip out of there. Well, or break it. Break all the plastic. Yep, we're just gonna break that. This is just brittle plastic, like everything else. Alright, now that should pick up out of there now. Unless I'm forgetting something else. Alright, that gives us a better access to our bolt right here. So, the one that's gonna give us trouble is the one back here. The one that's going to give us trouble is this one back here in the back. I don't even know if I'll be able to get the camera down in there to show you where that's at. Alright guys, we're going to undo our ball joint now. Just take and remove your cotter pin. Take a 22mm socket. Just loosen that up. Alright, just loosen that nut. Don't take it all the way off, because we're going to come back and strike this right here with a hammer to separate this. Alright, we're just going to put that there to keep it from coming out and damaging our brake lines. Maybe it'll hold. Alright. We're going to take an 18mm socket and try to get at our bolts up here now. Alright, that was the easy one. That back one back there, I guess you're supposed to disconnect your steering column right there, but I seen a guy just take a ratcheting wrench and stick in there without having to undo that, so that's what I'm going to try. I wish I could see it. I don't know if I can loosen it up from up here or not. I'm probably not left-handed. AC lines are in the way. Steering shaft's in the way. Even with that steering shaft out of there, I don't know how you get your arm in there to get any leverage on it. All this stuff's right in the way. Now, these are all your AC lines. You'd have to take that steering shaft out of there. Well, I sure don't want to. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to remove that shaft. That steering shaft. I can't get in there to get enough leverage on it to break it loose. I don't know how that guy in the video done it, but I tried getting a pry bar in there. There's nothing to pry on, so I don't even know if I can get enough leverage after moving this. But I'm gonna take you take a T50, and there's a bolt run through the top of that steering shaft. You got to take it out. Just take that bolt out, and then you're going to have to alright, so there's your bolt. It's got a T50. Take it out, and then I think you're going to have to go in and rotate that. Oh, okay. I see. Alright, turn it back to the right just a little bit. A little bit more. Alright, a little bit more. Alright, stop right there. Alright guys, you see that slot there on the top? I thought you had to turn it 180, but you just need to turn it 90 degrees. And you're going to take a screwdriver and slip down in there and separate that a little bit. Alright, once you got that off of there, or pry it apart, you can slip that off. But before you do that, you need to come in here Alright, before you disconnect that steering column, you need a way to kind of secure this. To keep your steering wheel from spinning. Long enough. I have to do it up here or something. Alright, I just done that. You don't want the steering wheel spinning because it'll ruin your controls. There's I don't know what they call it, a little, there's a ring in there that makes connections for all of your buttons and all that stuff. If your steering wheel spins too much, you'll destroy that. So you want to make sure your steering wheel stays kind of in the same spot. Alright, now back under here, you can pretty much just slip that off of there now, like that. And you can just, I guess, just lay it down out of the way. Alright, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but right there on that shaft coming through the firewall, there's a little indentation right there where that bolt is. You want to make sure that stays in the same spot when you put it back on there. So just take mental note of that position there. That way when you slip your steering column back on there, that's in the same spot. You don't want it to be, I guess you could have it like 180 degrees off if you tried hard enough, but make sure you keep that in the same spot. Still ain't gonna give me enough room. Alright guys, I ain't gonna lie, that about whooped me. It's almost a two-man job. But to get enough leverage on that, I had to take my ratcheting wrench. Alright, I got my ratcheting wrench in there, and I stuck this pry bar down there, and I had to get my ratcheting wrench just right to where I could hook this pry bar on the end of that steering shaft and pry on it. And I was only prying maybe 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch each time, but I just kept working it back and forth like that, and got it loose enough I could turn it by hand. Once I got it loose enough to turn by hand, I just went in there and got my 3/8 stubby wrench with an 18mm socket on it. That way I can stick in there and have room to swing it. Got my wrench stuck. Alright. I don't know how I'm gonna get it back on there, but we'll figure something out. Alright guys, once you get those nuts off the back side, you just take these and pry them out of there. Alright. One pry bar is too big, another pry bar is too small. Alright guys, once you pull them out of there, your control arm should just slip right out of there. And them don't... Yeah, see that? They're all, well, this side's not too bad, but this side right here is completely gone. I don't know if you can see that. Get out here in the sun. You see all the... You shouldn't be able to turn that by your hands. So these are shot. Alright Alright guys, this is the part number I decided to go with on these. You can see you can't turn the bushings at all with these. So let's get a cap over it. Let's protect the boot. Alright. Yeah, now we're gonna see if I can get these back in there somehow. You have to take that pry bar in there and pry it again. So to get that in there, I just stick it in there like that and then jack this up. Can you jack it up, please? Alright, stop right there. Here. Alright. Jack that up until it's kind of running right or in line with it, and I stick the pry bar in here. And pry it up, and then you can get it to slip in there once you get it lined up. Can you push on this? Hold that right there. And it'll slip right in. It may take 2 people, but you can get it in there. Alright guys, so to get that one in there, I had to work this. I had to stick this tab in between here. I jacked it up till it got about level, and then you just stick the pry bar in there and spread that apart, and then slip that bolt in there. Like that. Takes 2 people. You can do it by yourself, but I don't know, it's easier with 2 people because I had to have my wife raise the jack up till it was level, and then I had to have her hold the pry bar down while I worked this control arm to get it lined up. So they're in there now, so I don't know, it helps to have 2 people. You could do it by yourself, but it's twice as hard. Alright guys, so we got that control arm back in there and got the bolts in there. Now we're just going to go back and put the nuts back on. Now you don't want to tighten these all the way up, you just want to snug them up. Help if you go the right direction. Now just snug them up for now, and we'll come back and torque them down once we get the wheel and tire back on there where it's sitting under its own weight. I don't know how I'm going to torque this back one, but we'll figure something out. Oh, arm's stuck. Okay. Good job. Alright, so you want to take this plastic cover off. It's just there to protect the boot, to keep from getting it damaged while you're installing it. Now you want to take your steering knuckle and stick back in there. Alright. Oh, 22. 22 millimeter socket for your ball joint. Alright, I'll have to look up the torque spec and torque this down. And don't forget to put your grease zerk right here. Alright, so we're torquing this down to 70 foot-pounds. Hand me the needle and pliers over there, please. Actually, get the flush cutters out there. Side slants. Alright, I don't know if y'all caught that, but you just slip your cotter pin through there and fold it over. Then you just clip the other side off. And that's done. I guess I'm gonna put some grease in that now.
Why do you squeeze it?
I just make sure there's grease going in it. Alright, I put grease in that, so now I think everything's done out here. I just got to put the tire back on it, and we'll be done with this side besides torquing it down in there. Alright guys, I just took that impact and bump them down, and then I come back with my torque wrench and set them. It says 110 foot-pounds. Alright. Alright guys, now we're just going to torque these down to 44 foot-pounds. Alright. Don't seem near as tight as what it was coming off, but that's what it says, 44 foot-pounds. Now we need to torque that back.
What happens if you don't torque it?
It'll loosen up. At least it's easier to tighten it instead of loosening it. I can push on it from here. Okay. Alright guys, now you want to get your steering shaft back on that steering rod there. So make sure you get your bolt line back up. Should just slip right back on. Yep. Alright, I'm going to turn that just a little bit more. She let go of the steering wheel and it come back a little bit, so I'm just going to spin it to where I got better access to it.
Whoa.
Alright. Alright, I don't know what the torque spec is on this. I'm going to have to look it up. Alright, we're going to torque that down to 33 foot-pounds. There we go. Is it on now?
Yes.
Alright guys, I moved over to the passenger side. I just got it jacked up and pulled the tire off of it, but hopefully this one there's nothing in the way over here, so maybe I can get it off a little easier. I say that and I got a shock in the way. Going the wrong way with that one. I need to go that way. I need to upgrade gear wrenches. This thing's got, it don't have enough clicks in it. I don't know what count, tooth count this is, but I need a lot higher tooth count, so I'll probably look into getting some better ones over sometime. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, this side's moving a lot easier than that other one. If I can keep the wrench on there. I ain't got it loose enough on my left hand. I keep knocking the wrench off. I can't work it with my left hand. I'm not coordinated enough. I can't grab it. I can only go like one click and it's way back here. And it falls off. Let's see if I can move this hose maybe. Alright, it's loose now. Alright, I got that one out. Now this front one should be easier. Okay. Alright. Alright, so that other one is up in there. Alright, I got that light where it's supposed to be, but right up in there is where that bolt's at. I don't know what I got to get in there. I may be able to come in from the very front side with an extension. Alright, so you see where my light is right there? I'm going to try to take an extension and get in there and pull it out like that. Guys, that's a pain to get to. My extension's too short or too long. Alright. Okay. Okay, this side's easier to get to. Just take you, I don't know, 6-inch extension with a deep well socket, and there's a little cutout right here where you can reach up in there and get to that. And you can just pull on it. It's a whole lot easier on the passenger side than it is that driver's side. That driver's side will whoop you. Of course, all this go faster when you're not trying to record everything you're doing. If I was working the camera by myself right now, it'd be a pain in the butt. Luckily, my wife decided to come out and help today. Guys, you can't really see any of this from, you just got to do it by feel. End up dropping the nut down there anyways, somewhere down there. Anyways, I got the nut off there, so now I get the fun process of prying them bolts out. Alright guys, same process as the other side. Just take this cotter pin out. Just pull that out of there, maybe. Alright, now we just take our 22mm socket and take that out. You should keep that dead blow hammer at your, or that 3-pound sledge at your house.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. No. No. Alright, once again guys, once you loosen your nut, don't take it all the way off, just leave it on there about flush with the bottom, then smack your knuckle right here with your hammer and it'll separate. Just make sure you got pressure held on it with the jack. That way it don't come springing out of there when you undo it. Alright, see that thing's wanting to spin on me? I just stick the pry bar in there and grab a hold of that coil spring and put some pressure on it and it'll keep it from spinning. Alright, that one might have been, I don't know, it don't look cross-threaded, but it was hard to get off. Alright guys, just make sure you get this. Just put that bungee around there once again just to keep it from flying over and hitting your or keep your pressure off your brake line.
Alright. No, hold on. Yeah, it is.
Alright guys, I've been fighting that for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, but I found out if you just hook your pry bar right here in the front like this and then have somebody, or pull down on that and have somebody to wiggle this, you can get enough slack in there, them things slip out from the back side. This one's not as bad as the other one, but it's deteriorated right there. They need to be replaced. Alright, there's the part number for the passenger side. And then that's the driver's side in case I didn't get it earlier. Alright. Guess I just wasn't holding it right. He went in. Act like it was too wide. Alright. We'll get that one started. Let me try to get this other one in there. Okay. You hook your pry bar right there and just spread the spring apart and it should go through there. Alright, got one side, now let's see if we can get this other one. Alright. Alright, there you go guys. Let's go up top and get the nuts back on it. Alright guys, I took these off. I thought maybe I could drop it out, but it didn't want to come out, so I got to retort these. So we'll snug them up for now. I'll have to get the torque spec on them. Alright, let me get it clean. Get all my tools out of the way so I can get back over there and work.
Yep.
There we go. I'm going to start on the back side of this one because it was easier to get to. That front side is, I don't know, I have to reach in there and do it with a, do it by feel. I guess both sides are really by feel, but something sharp in there. Hose clamp. Alright. Alright, torquing these back down to 44 foot-pounds. Oh, actually, no, guys, I'm sorry. We don't do that until we put the tire back on. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Yeah, you gotta torque them once the weight of the yeah. Is it on there? Will that control arm move up or down? Yes. Okay. Alright guys, I was getting ahead of myself. You don't torque them down. I took too long after I got through with that side to remember what I was doing. I had some other stuff going on. But you snug them down, then put your tire back on, and then torque them down. That way it's sitting on the weight. If you don't do that, then bushings, if you got them clocked too far down and you torque them, the weight of your car is going to rip them new bushings. So you snug them down, put your wheel on there, and settle the suspension, then tighten them down. I don't know if I showed this on the passenger side on this one. It's got a sensor right here that goes on that ball stud. I popped it off, but make sure you put this back on. You just pry it off. It's got like a little rubber grommet there. And you just snap it back on.
That other thing doesn't go on until you get that in there.
Jack that up, please. Seems kind of.
Keep going.
Well, hang on a second. Let me look at something. Yeah, jack it on that, please.
Keep going.
Yeah. All right, that's good.
Okay.
Alright, we torqued this thing down to 70 foot-pounds using our 22mm socket. Alright guys, I don't know if y'all see that or not, but you see that Carter pin right there? It's not lining up with a hole, so you want to, if you got it torqued to 70 and it's not lining up, you always go a little bit more, never go less. So just keep tightening it until it lines up. Alright, there we go. Alright, got it. So again, just fold it over. And then I grabbed the wrong tool again, didn't I?
Sure did.
And you just fold one side over it and trim it. There you go. And then put your grease zerd in. Alright, now we're going to put grease in it.